Well, my name is Michael Chism, and I actually manage the processing division here at Skulls Unlimited Museum of Osteology. You know, I've been here probably 7 years, and I kind of am a do-it-all kind of guy for the company. I've worked every department, kind of worked on every specimen that comes through. So yeah, I kind of head things up when it comes to the nitty-gritty over there, you know, collecting the skeletons. Well, actually, this was never really a career choice. Growing up, I kind of collected roadkill. As odd as that is, early childhood collecting the roadkill and cleaning it up with my father. And, you know, I think by the time I was maybe 16 years old, I had hundreds of coyote skulls and raccoons and, you know, all that typical rodent. But before this, I was actually an engineer in the oil field. Spent a lot of time in the oil field and kind of needed a career change. And growing up with these guys whose father founded this place and operates this place, you know, one of them in passing was like, "Hey man, we're looking for somebody at the museum, Skulls, to kind of help us in the right direction." And I've been here ever since. Like I said, I grew up on a farm. And death is a natural thing, and I kind of found beauty in it. I kind of found, you know, collecting the horse skulls and the various livestock that happened to pass away on the farm, and you know, comparative anatomy is kind of what led me here. Seeing, you know, similarities between separate species and some of the things that could happen to each species, the different variants of spinal deformities and things like that. It's just kind of interested me, and when I was given the opportunity to come up here and work, I was kind of like, well, you know, maybe I don't have to do it as a hobby anymore. And it's kind of a hobby and a full-time gig now. You know, we get pachyderms here, big pachyderms. Big Boss has a few pictures of me inside of an elephant chest cavity, you know, carving out organs and flensing away meat. So those moments, they do stand out to me. Like, you don't find this every day. You don't do this flipping burgers kind of thing. So I think every day here in itself is something special. It really is. The vast amount of people you get to meet, the specimen themselves, it never ceases to amaze me. Some of the things that we receive from zoos and aquariums from around the country and the world, and you know, the people that come along with it, it's great every day. Well, the first is the smell. As soon as you walk in there, that's your good morning. Let you know kind of how the day is going to go. But day to day, we do process a lot of hunting trophies on Skulls Unlimited's behalf. So when hunters go on different hunts and hunt various animals, elk, deer, bear, things like that, they drop them off to be cleaned. Euromount is what they call it, the European mount, just the bear skull cleaning. Typically, that's kind of a good portion of our day is, you know, talking to customers and hunters and collectors that come in and drop off specimen with us, putting our care for cleaning. And then we have the day-to-day, you know, we work with various zoos, aquariums, and facilities throughout the country to provide, you know, ethically sourced specimen for what we're doing here and what we're studying. We utilize beetles, domestic beetles here, to do a lot of our real intricate skull cleaning. It's a fascinating process, you know, just studying the bugs themselves, you know, what they do naturally in this world. It kind of gives you a good understanding of circle of life, and being able to study the bones after they've been meticulously cleaned by those guys. And, you know, my boss would say they're probably our hardest workers, to be honest. That's the beautiful thing about what we're doing here is we're not stagnant in the sense that it's repetitive. It's the same thing every day. It's, you know, every day has its challenges and its beautiful moments, and it's an awesome line of work, honestly. I don't think so at all. Like I said, I had no real world training on osteology, any kind of forensics, anything like that before I came. It was all self-taught, just self-interest things that, you know, over the years growing up, I found the beauty in the skeletons, and you know, I don't think it's a necessary thing. Maybe the education comes after your career starts here. Gotta have a tough stomach, you know, and I say that there's separate entities here. There's the Museum of Osteology, and then there's the processing division, which is known as Skulls Unlimited. So to work for the museum, I think certain personalities just kind of really adapt here. We are all kind of birds of feather. We all have interest in similar things when it comes to osteology and the study of bones, or maybe just the collecting of bones. So I think having some kind of background or interest in that itself would probably lead you in the right direction here. That, and on the processing side, we do handle a lot of sharp objects. I've had employees come in with butcher background, meat processing in general. I've had employees come in from all different walks, and there's real no rhyme and reason that could lead you here, but I think what it boils down to is probably just your general interest. Never settle for what you're given first. You could be given just a general knowledge of something and accept that, but then you'll never truly know. That would probably be the biggest thing, is just making sure that you have the interest for this, maybe just sticking with your gut when it comes to it. If you were into the realm of, say for instance, general deformities and things that happen calcified in the body, different kinds of syndromes and diseases and what they do to your bone structure, I think a lot of the study can show certain environments that people are, currently in, how they reflect in your bone structure. And it kind of goes to show the way that human race is kind of heading towards, underdevelopments and things like that. Studying the skeletal remains of all living creatures is a very important part of science to know where we're heading and the way things are. We deal with a lot of just extant animals here, not extinct, but current living animals. So the study of that alone, and hopefully, finding and curing things that are currently going on, and to keep those animals from becoming an extinct species, I think it's super important. Just a general knowledge of what things can happen to your bone structure, to the bone structure, as far as forensics goes. I think that's the biggest one, is understanding the kind of things and harms that can come from injuries, like I said, illnesses, disease. The study of it itself in the shop, that's one of the beautiful things, is when we are confirmed, hey, we do have this specimen coming in and this is what's known to be wrong with it. And then when you finally get down to bare osteology and you see exactly what's going on, you kind of have an understanding of what was causing those limitations to the specimen, to the human, to the animal, and kind of gives you a better grasp on maybe how to handle that, how to approach that while it's still a current issue. So comparative anatomy, when it boils down to it, being able to study what's known and what's wrong, and then kind of see what it is itself when you kind of put it out in the open.